Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the April edition of VRM Insider. I'm your host, Tracy Sanderson, and we are so happy that you are here with us today. It is spring. Oh, we are getting so close to Memorial Day and all the wonderful summer things, which are, our busy season for our clients. We know you guys are raring to go. You guys had an amazing year last year, so we're hoping for an even more amazing year this year with hopefully less protocols and less restrictions. So we're hoping that's an amazing thing for all of you. I know I'm excited about it personally. I walked into a store the other day and I saw a friend of mine. It was the first time I had seen her face in 2 years. I hadn't seen this part of her face. It was wonderful. Wonderful to see her. So today we are so excited that you are joining us, taking a little bit of time out of your day for a VRM focused webinar. We know you guys love it when we do those. It's a time for you to connect with us here at VRM. And today we're really excited to introduce you to something super, super awesome. So hold on to your hats because we're going to dive into that really soon. But first, let me take care of a little bit of housekeeping. So as always, this webinar is being recorded. So that's just a FYI for your information up front. But the reason we're recording it is so that it can come back to you in a replay. You can expect that replay directly into your inbox. It'll also be on the admin console for an easy one click, or you can find it over on our blog on our website. So you'll get it in all kinds of different ways. It'll also be in our newsletter, so you can find it all the ways, every way you can. And we want you to have that information so you can rewatch or you can pass it on to someone else in your office. We do have the opportunity to ask questions today, so you can do that by using the Q&A button. If you hover down at the bottom of your screen, if you are on a desktop or laptop device, and you'll see two little speech bubbles that say Q&A, just hit that button and type in your question, either for Inhabit IQ or for Lauren. And if it's appropriate where we are in our program, I will stop and ask the question. If not, we'll try to wrap up those questions at the end. If for some reason we don't get to your question, don't worry. We will reach out to you personally to make sure we get you an answer to your question. All right, so without further ado, we are going to get ready to rock and roll. So you see two other faces besides mine today. One of those is Lauren Schreckengost, which you know and love Lauren. She's been here at VRM for quite a long time. And we also have on with us today Adam Norko. All right, and Adam is representing us from the Inhabit IQ side today. So we are going to go ahead and get started. If that's all right with everybody here, we're all good to roll?
Ready to go.
All right, so the title of today's webinar is Introducing VRM's new Client Success Manager, Lauren Schreckengost. And we all said, woo! We're all really excited. But before we do that, we do want to give Inhabit IQ the floor for just a minute. And as I said, we have on with us today Adam Norko. He is Inhabit IQ's Senior Vice President of Sales for the vacation brands, which we fall under the vacation brands. Anybody who might still be a little confused or not sure how that all works. So VRM is a part of vacation brands of Inhabit IQ. And Adam is just going to bring some information to us today that we have been very excited about getting in front of all of you. So Adam, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. And I'm happy to be here. And thanks to everybody for making the time to join the webinar. And I think, Tracy just hit on a really good point there. Is there's still some confusion, not only with the VRM clientele, but in the industry and the market itself around what is Inhabit, what are we doing? So I wanted to offer some clarification around that. So I'll give you a little bit of background about myself, and then I'll explain some background about Inhabit and where all of these pieces come together. And then I know that Tracy's got some questions from the VRM client base that I'll be happy to go through as well. So for anyone who doesn't know me, I think that I've probably crossed paths with a lot of you in the VRM client base. I've been in the industry for 15 years. I live on the Outer Banks. I started as the director of marketing for Seaside Vacations on the Outer Banks. We managed about 350 homes when I was there. I moved over to the director of sales and marketing for Point Central for a number of years, was there for about 7 years. and moved over from there as the senior salesperson for Breezeway, spent about 3 years there. And in January, moved over to Inhabit, as Tracy had mentioned, as the senior VP of sales across all of sales for the vacation brands. So I know the industry well, been on the management side, so I can understand what you guys are dealing with, the challenges you have on a day-to-day basis. But then also from a technology perspective, I understand how all of these pieces start to fit together and where we can start to raise your efficiencies, give you better client experiences, both homeowner and guest client experiences, by leveraging these different technology pieces that can build out this tech stack for all of you as managers. And that's what we're seeing happen across the industry. So to touch on what Inhabit has done and what the vision is, and I think this goes to Tracy's point about, what does the vacation brands, where does VRM sit in that? So I'll give you kind of a high level view, and then we can either continue this discussion in the days and weeks ahead, or if you've got some questions today, I'll be happy to touch on them. Inhabit came into existence in the vacation world probably about 3 years ago. It's older than that. I think it actually just crossed its 6-year anniversary earlier this week. Inhabit has 3 different markets, 3 different verticals within it. We've got commercial, we've got residential, and then we've got vacations. Commercial and residential, same things that you guys might think of. It's long-term rentals or commercial rentals. Specific to vacations, we have Inhabit acquired 10 different well-known, best-in-class vacation software brands or vendor brands and brought them together. And there's really 2 different categories of those different brands that came together. There's digital marketing services, which we'll call DMS, and then there's the PMS side, and that's where Tracy had mentioned that VRM falls in that PMS side. So I'll touch on DMS just to help you understand what we have there, and then I'll touch on the VRM side, or excuse me, the PMS side. So for digital marketing services, we've got Blue Tent, Q4, and BizCore. Those are the 3 marketing companies that are within the Inhabit brands. We can offer a variety of different marketing services for you, websites, pay-per-click, SEO, email marketing, best in class across the entire industry. Those marketing companies are fantastic and have a fantastic track record. Then within the PMS side, there's even a further division that I'll mention as we get to the end. But on the PMS side, we've got Streamline, LiveRes, VRM, and then one in the UK called Super Control. Underneath that, there's actually more of a revenue and data slot as well. We're still thinking about them in the PMS because it's still tied closely to PMS, but as we expand, revenue management and data analytics will become sort of a division of its own. And in that division today, we have RevMax, which is being built out of Streamline. And I'm going to touch on where there's some value for you as VRM clients in just a couple of minutes. And then we also have LSI. LSI is probably someone that this VRM client base knows pretty well. Also grew up in this North Carolina, South Carolina area, knows this industry and this market exceptionally well, has a variety of different tools. I'll touch on one a little bit later that is specific around data, but LSI also falls within that Inhabit IQ umbrella. The goal of Inhabit as a whole, as we bring all of these pieces together, and it's changed over the course of the 3 years or so, and I think this will come out in some of the questions that we'll cover as we think about Inhabit. But the goal is really now to build out a strong platform as a service, an ecosystem of different products and services that the industry needs. So rather than, as a manager, you having to go out and select and shop all of these different vendors and different types of vendors, you can go to one company that has drawn all of these best-in-class services and products together so that you can have a easier sales process, an easier way to understand all of these products without having to feel like you need to talk to all of them individually. You can start to get all of these necessary services together. PMS, websites, marketing, revenue management, data, or even tied into, and they fall outside of the vacation division today, but I'll most likely pull them into vacations maybe in 23. We even have insurance and payments. So Lynbrook Group is within Inhabit, as well as Rental Guardian. So when you think about all of those pieces together, it's a full ecosystem that all of the managers need in order to operate their companies and provide that best-in-class client experience. The goal of Inhabit is to think about that platform as a service for all of you in the VRM client base, but really all of the vacation market as a whole. This is the first opportunity that vacation rentals, short-term rentals has had an opportunity to think about this platform as a service and going in and thinking about all of these different products and services within one roof. Now, one of the benefits is that sales process that I mentioned to you, but there's a lot of strong benefits behind the scenes when you start to think about all of these different companies working together, whether it's integrations or having access to different services that you wouldn't necessarily have. So I will touch on two of those towards the end of the call, and I'll explain why the benefit of having all of these companies within one company allows us to then connect all of these dots and give better service, better products to all of the brands across. So VRM now has the opportunity to leverage the same type of tools that Streamline or some of these other client bases have had for a while, but VRM would not have had access to unless they fell under that Inhabit umbrella. So I'll pause there and we'll go through some questions. But Tracy, was there any other thoughts or questions that have come in while I was explaining that?
No, none as yet, except I thought of a few things. I may bring them up if you don't cover them after we go through the questions we have prepared.
So this first one is the most important one for sure. So rumors that VRM is being sunsetted, is that true? Absolutely false. And what I will say is that Inhabit has changed focus over the course of 3 years. I came in January. I've been in the industry for 15 years or so, as I mentioned. And I think the goal of Inhabit right now is to get industry veterans, industry leaders that can come in and start to bring that industry voice into Inhabit so that Inhabit can start to make the informed decisions around the industry needs. Inhabit is a private equity fund. The group behind Inhabit, GSV, is a private equity fund. When they brought all of these companies together, they didn't necessarily have the industry knowledge that they're starting to gain today. So I will say that they probably misstepped. We probably Inhabit, to lump me into that, we probably misstepped early on in this process when we didn't really understand the needs of this industry. And I think, the rumors started to circulate that maybe there's potential for VRM to be sunsetted. That is absolutely false. We are not sunsetting VRM. There's a lot of value in VRM. There's a lot of value in all of you that are been working with VRM and the team at VRM for years upon years, and just to think about the functionality that has already been built into VRM. It's one of the best accounting systems in the entire short-term rental space. So this is not a product that we want to sunset. We want to invest in it. We want to invest in the teams. We want to invest in the products. We want to continue to improve that so that the opposite of sunsetting, we want to give you the better products, the better services, so that, again, you can go out and have that client experience, both for homeowners and guests. At the end of the day, we recognize that client experience is the most important piece. We want to give you the tools and services that you can continue to have those great client experiences. Yeah, so is Inhabit IQ currently investing in VRM? 100%. And that goes back to that, not sunsetting, right? Not only are we not sunsetting, we want to invest. We want to reinvest. We want to make sure that we are giving you the best product that we can give you. And that does tie into that discussion with the overall vision of what Inhabit has. We want to be that full ecosystem of products and services that this industry needs, that you as VRM clients need, so that you can come to one trusted source to find all of these. So that, and again, I'll touch on this at the end, but that allows us to start to pull in products and services that aren't necessarily developed specifically in VRM or for VRM, but now you have access to them through the integrations in the back end of Inhabit. And I'll touch on a couple of those. So what is on the future horizon for VRM? I think we're going to have a more detailed discussion about a roadmap. We've got some feedback from the VRM clients about some wants and some needs and the direction that they'd like to see the product go. And we are in the process of analyzing that and building a roadmap about it. In May, we're going to have a second webinar very similar to this. So in early May, and we're going to include Inhabit leaders. We're also going to include some VRM clients. And then as part of that, we're going to start to talk about what that roadmap might look like for what we can add. And then today, at the end of this call, I'm going to give two specific examples that are coming very quickly that we will cover in more depth on that May webinar that will offer some really strong improvements very quickly without having to make many changes or go through much onboarding. It's just some tools that we already have at our disposal from Streamline and other Inhabit companies that we can now offer to VRM due to some integrations that we've developed on the back end.
Awesome. All right, so I have two quick questions. First of all, Leslie Painter says, hi, Adam.
Hey, Leslie.
So she has some question about RevMax and LSI. So I told her we are going to cover it. Just hang on till the end. So we're going to circle back to that. But you mentioned earlier GSV, Greater Some Ventures, right? So when we were originally acquired, that was the name that was being used and circulated as, you know, VRM has been purchased by GSV. And that's what our clients were hearing. And then all of a sudden it was Inhabit IQ. So can you just quickly make sure everybody understands the connection there? I mean, you briefly touched on it. But...
Yeah, so GSV is really, that's that private equity arm that goes out and they've done this a number of other times. So the ministry is probably the best example of how they've done this. So the vacation short-term rental space is not the first industry that they have taken this consolidation approach. And it's an opportunity from a private equity funding because you're bringing all of these companies together and then you increase the value of the collective because you've got all of these great brands. But it's also a big opportunity for the industries that we're serving because we can now improve every one of those products and they all work together. And then, as I was discussing, you can turn to one trusted source to have all of these different services, thinking about that platform as a service type of mentality. So GSV is that private equity arm that goes out and finds the industries and finds the companies and brings those together. Once they've made that collective, once they decided, you know, hey, we're going to go into the real estate and we're going to do commercial and residential and vacations. Once they do that, they'll establish a business within that vertical so that way Inhabit becomes the operations arm for that particular vertical. GSV is still that parent company of Inhabit. They're still related, but Inhabit is the company that manages that property management vertical for GSV.
Perfect. And I have two other quick things, which I'll just put in a question format. So we haven't mentioned the name Robin, but Robin's been on a couple of webinars along with Kimberly. So are they still around? What's the deal?
They are. Yeah. So as part of building this out, there is definitely building out some hierarchy of trying to figure out how to manage all of these different pieces. And as you can imagine, 10 different brands coming together, there's a lot of processes and tools and different management that we've got to go through and figure out how do you bring all these together. I'm very happy to say that we've made a huge amount of progress on that organization in the last 3 years. You know, I'm just here for 3 months or so, but the foundation is being built so that we can be very efficient at managing this large group of companies. So Kimberly Lang is the managing director of vacations. So she's over all of the vacation brands. I report directly to Kimberly, for instance. Robin is the VP of PMS. So when we were going through at the beginning, DMS, digital marketing services, they've got a VP over all of digital marketing services. Robin is the VP over all of PMS. So same brands I was talking about, LiveRes, Streamline, VRM, Super Control, RevMax, LSI. Those all fit into Robin's view. And then me as VP of sales, I look across both of those divisions. So I'm managing the sales team across both the DMS and the PMS divisions. So no doubt, Kimberly's still here. In fact, Kimberly will most likely be on that May webinar, speaking with some VRM clients. So you'll be able to see Kimberly again soon. And she'll reinforce the same message that I'm giving. We are 100% committed to VRM. We are reinvesting into it. So to answer your question, yes, both Robin and Kimberly are still here. They should be here in the future going forward. And you know, you should see more of them as we continue to do this communication.
Perfect. And Robin is still our general manager. So she is our general manager, our acting general manager of VRM. Yes. So that's, if you haven't seen Robin, you probably have heard her name because of that. Yes. All right. And then lastly, I know this is a question for me, but I know somebody out there is thinking it because we've heard this question before. Will I be forced to use the exclusive Inhabit brand products, or am I still going to be able to use the product and services that I've always used and I
Yeah,
love?
no, that is a fantastic question. And we recognize the value of having open connections. Now, there's always a cost benefit analysis with any sort of integrations and connections. So there's got to be a reason to do it. There's got to be value associated with that. What I will say is that the goal is for all of the Inhabit brands to be so good at working together that there's a lot of value in using the brands that are within Inhabit. With that said, we will not reduce the amount of selection that you have across other partners, vendors, integrations. We want to keep that choice open for you. We want to encourage to use the Inhabit brands because we think that they're the best in class, and we think that the integrations and the connections behind, even just the communication. So if you think about having an issue, let's say it's Rental Guardian, and you're working with Rental Guardian and there's an issue at Rental Guardian. Well, Rental Guardian doesn't have to jump through hoops to figure out, who's working at Streamline or who the right person is to. Very easy to communicate within the same Inhabit family to come over and talk specifically to that person and get those answers. So I'll give you another example that just came up yesterday was around Lynbrook. We were able to turn around approval on some payments with Lynbrook really, really quickly because of that line of communication, which may have taken days before, happened within a day because we were able to have that line of communication. So it's not that we're going to restrict your choices. I see the value in having an open ecosystem when it comes to integrations. I think that's what the market wants. That's what the clients want. But I think that you'll also find over time that there's a lot of benefits to working with the brands and the teams that are at Inhabit, because there's going to be better connections, better communication, and I truly believe it, better products and services. I think we are collecting the best in class. But with that said, we're not trying to restrict the choices that you have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Adam. That was a lot of information in a little bit of time. So if anybody needs to circle back or has additional questions, we will make sure that you are filtered through us to Adam or anybody on the Inhabit IQ team that could answer those questions for you.
Now, the only other thing I'll mention, and I know this is the next step in this webinar here, is but that this next discussion that we're going to have is 100% in line with everything that I just mentioned. We want to make sure that we are opening communication. We want to make sure that, to Tracy's point, if you've got questions or you've got thoughts, you feel confident and comfortable coming to VRM and knowing that we are going to give you the best answer that we can. And this next, introduction to Lauren here, I think, is speaking volumes to that. We want to make sure that every one of the VRM clients have the ability to communicate with VRM and ultimately with Inhabit easily and effectively so that you can get the answers that you guys need.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to roll on and introduce you all to our brand new VRM Client Success Manager. Yay! So that is Lauren. You guys already know and love Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, Tracy. Hey, Adam. Hey, everybody out there. It's great to be here. And thank you for that great introduction, Tracy. And Adam, thank you for all that background information and for sharing that with our amazing clients. I know that means a lot to them to hear how much you all value our system and our employees and how much you value our clients and those that depend on our software system. So thank you so much for taking time to help our clients feel more at ease and more comfortable, and for helping the employees at VRM feel the same way. So sure. Thank you for that.
Awesome. Well, we're going to ask Lauren a series of questions so that we can really, get to know her a little bit better, but then we can also really get a better understanding of what exactly the Client Success Manager is and what that role will mean to you as VRM clients. And we're also going to look at why. Why did we create, or why did Inhabit IQ, let me start over. Why Inhabit IQ created this position for VRM, and what we think that will accomplish. So first, Lauren, why don't you tell us a little bit about your professional history, including your time here at VRM?
All right, see, I will be glad to. So out of college, I went to college at NC State and got my degree in communication. I went and taught 6th grade for a year at a school in Lithia Springs, Georgia. And then I retired from teaching and decided that I wanted to live at the beach. And the most wonderful beach I have ever been to is Emerald Isle. So no offense to anybody else's, but that's where we grew up vacationing back when Emerald Isle Realty was a little white house, and you went and you knocked on the door and got your key off a peg to check into your rental property. So my family started vacationing there. Actually, my grandparents started that tradition when my mom was in middle school. So that's just been something that's been carried down through our family, the love of the beach, the love of family vacation. And that is a huge part of why I enjoyed so much doing what I do now. After I left teaching, I moved to the beach. I actually worked at Blue Water in Emerald Isle for a few years. While I was there, I worked the reservation side. I worked in the marketing department, and I actually was the assistant marketing director when I left there to go back to school. So some of you guys who are located along the Crystal Coast may have thought you saw me before, and it's possible that you have, because I enjoyed working with some of you guys when I was down there at some of the bigger endeavors that multiple rental companies participated in. After I left Blue Water, I actually went back to school and got my master's degree in communication, and then got a job at Overton's in Greenville and filled a variety of different roles there, but mostly that revolved around project management. And that was fun for me because it allowed me to bridge the gap between our end users and our IT team. We found that a lot of people don't speak geek, so I got to translate for them, and I really enjoyed that, just being the voice, being the advocate, being able to go out, share updates, find out questions people had, and just get the information flowing back and forth between those actually doing the work and those requesting the work. So I enjoyed that. I worked there for, about 5 years now, I think. And then my husband and I moved back to the coast. And in doing so, I got the opportunity to become part of the VRM family. And I was super thrilled about that because, little known fact, while I was working at Blue Water, I attended the VRMA in Atlanta and tried to convince the company to go with VRM at that point. But it wasn't in the cards to make the switch. So I have been in love with the VRM product well before I ever officially became a team member, and just love the way that it is so user-friendly and easy to navigate through, and just encompasses all that is in with the vacation rental market as far as the email stuff that can be sent out, reservation management, accounting, work orders. Again, I just think it's a fabulous product. So I have been blessed to be a member of the VRM team for almost 8 years now. May 6th will mark my 8th-year anniversary with VRM. And I was recently moved over to the role of Client Success Manager, which makes me so extremely happy because it means I get to work with y'all even more than I have been. And I get to share information with you from Inhabit and from VRM, and I get to listen to you all, the concerns that you guys have, the questions that you have. I get to find out what is going well with your business and what can be done to make it even better. So I am so excited to be an ear for you all, and just to be a liaison and advocate, and to provide this for you, because we want you guys to be successful. We care about you. We love you. And I'm excited that I get to play this role.
And there is no better person suited for this role than Lauren. It was a unanimous, everybody raised their hand at the same time. We vote Lauren. So we are ecstatic because we know she is so passionate about you, our clients. And she's so extremely genuine. What I say, people are like, oh, Lauren is so nice. And I'm like, that's how she is all the time. That's what you see is exactly what you get, which is such a rare commodity these days. And but that's because she is who she is. And Lauren, tell us a little bit more about who you are. Who is Lauren Schreckengost?
All right. So Lauren Schreckengost only became Lauren Schreckengost in August of 2013 when I got married to Elvis. And again, for those of you guys who are familiar with the Crystal Coast, I can't believe I can say this, but back in the day when the Crystal Coast Jamboree was there, my husband was the performer there who sang and entertained crowds, much like his namesake Elvis did. So he and I have been married now coming up 9 years. So I'm his wife, very faithful, very proud of him and who he is. We have 2 kids, Harrison and Olivia. Olivia is 6 and Harrison is 5. And they are very fun. I enjoy being able to be their mom. I am very thankful that God made them so cute because it makes some of the things they do easier to get through, we shall say. But they are delights. They're in kindergarten and first grade this year. They're reading, they're taking piano lessons. They love animals, and they're super creative. I'm sure some of you all have had the privilege of hearing them in the background when I've been speaking with you in the past, and they probably will continue to be my little assistants. So I appreciate you guys being okay with that in the background if they decide to make an appearance. In addition to Harrison and Olivia, we also have 3 cats, Captain Hook, Captain Jack, and Domino. So we adopted Jack and Hook as a result of the pandemic. Everybody came out of that with something new. And Domino, the little kitty in the middle, is our field cat. He just wandered up one day out of the bean field, and we kept him. So that's how we ended up with 3 cats. But please don't send any more cats our way because I am at my limit with the furry friends. But they make life very interesting and amusing. Other than that, I love Hallmark movies, I love French fries, and I love snow days. Some of my best memories were this past winter with the snow we had, and then 2 years ago with the snow that we had here. It doesn't happen often in North Carolina, especially, well, let me take that back. It doesn't happen often in Eastern North Carolina, in Farmville, where we live outside of the town limits. So when it happens, we take advantage of it. And it was a delight to be able to share those moments with Harrison and Olivia, especially this year. And you can see we built our little family of snowmen. So that's just a little bit about me.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. All right, so we're going to move on from here. And Lauren, some clients asked and we listened. What was the ask and what did we listen to?
Yes. So one of the things that we have heard from you all over the last couple of years, especially, is that you missed the opportunity to have a direct connection to someone if you have a question or you want some advice about products that might be useful for your company or for the way you all run business. So something outside of a request you would put through our help desk. You guys have always spoken highly of our help desk, of our trainers, of the wonderful people who respond to the emails, and we are very thankful that we are able to provide that level of service to you. And we also appreciate the fact that you recognize that in us. But even with that avenue, we knew that we were missing something. We needed somebody else, a group of people perhaps, or a person who was here to listen to bigger concerns or questions, or again, just kind of feeling out the industry, what's going on. We've heard this, is this rumor true? Or, hey, we're having problems getting our properties over to the portals we want to use. What other suggestions do you guys have? Who else do you work with? And that's something that we felt for you. We understood where you were coming from, and we definitely agreed that you guys needed another advocate. And because of your interest and because of your outspokenness, we were able to speak with people at Inhabit and get some things put into place so that we could add a new role and a new member here at VRM that is going to be solely here for your success. So again, this role it's because of you guys. It's because of the way you've spoken out and what you want and what you need. And we love that. We love that personal touch, and we want to be able to provide that for you. So thank you for that. And I hope I live up to your expectations.
I have no doubt. All right, so let's ask a few questions, if that's all right with you, Lauren.
Sure.
Okay, so question number 1, I think we've kind of already covered this, but answer this specifically. What is the purpose of the client success manager?
So I guess the main purpose is to give you guys a voice so that you've got somebody to contact, ask questions to, again, that would be outside of what you would go to the help desk for. We want somebody that can voice concerns that you have or needs that you have within the software system. If you all know something that we need to improve on or expand upon, a new feature, we want you all to have somebody that you can talk to about that. We want to hear from you. We want to hear good things we're doing so that we can continue to do that. We want to hear things we can improve on. So again, we can make adjustments so that ultimately we can make you all as successful as possible. And this role will help be that bridge, be that liaison for you all, your advocate between your side of the world and the VRM management team, and also the team at Inhabit. So that's the main purpose, I would say, of the client success manager. And Adam or Tracy, if I'm leaving something out of that, please feel free to speak up, because I don't want to mislead our clients in any way.
No, I think that was great.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. What it's done is create a closed system. So we've actually been able, by opening up communications, we've been able to finish that loop of getting information all the way around the complete circle, from client to software to parent company, and that communication can continue on, which is wonderful.
So that's a great way to put it, Tracy. I love that.
All right. So how will the client success manager benefit our VRM clients?
I'm hoping, again, it's that feeling of they know somebody, they have a person, they have a face, they have a name. You'll have contact information so that you can get in touch with me. In fact, following this webinar, I'm going to send emails out to everybody who was in attendance today just to say, hey, thank you for coming, and to make sure that you guys have my email address, my telephone number. And I'll be sharing that for people who registered but may not have been able to attend today. Because again, I just want you all to have someone you can talk to. And I found in other businesses that I've worked in, then providing that extra personal touch goes a long way. You feel like you've got a friend, you've got somebody that you can go to. And by having someone in place who can listen to your needs and your concerns, and who can then voice them to people who have the ability to make changes, we can get things done for you all that you need. So overall, it's going to benefit you guys, because you'll be able to be more successful in what you're doing. You'll be able to provide more for your owners, for your guests, and all that within the software system.
Yeah, and because Lauren knows our system so intimately, forwards and backwards, this is not your average client success manager. Like, she actually knows the system, so she speaks your language. She knows it from working in property management as well, and the software, and now will help to bridge that gap, which, ever since I've been with VRM, I feel like one of the things that sets us apart is that we've always been able to offer more of a boutique style product because of our customer service. And we've been able to kind of offer that hand holding. And this is just one more element to that piece that helps set us apart from our competition.
That's good.
All right, next question. What can VRM clients expect from Lauren?
All right. I like this. Let's see. I'm going to manage expectations so that I don't sound like a politician up here promising you things that are not going to happen. For me, you all can expect to have somebody that you can talk to. Again, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is that's going on related to the system. As Adam was pointing out, Inhabit is such a huge umbrella and encompasses so many different products. I'm not a salesperson. Adam does not claim me. I am not on Adam's sales team. But since I do get to hear about our sister companies and the wonderful services that they provide, if you all come to me and say, hey, we're having a problem with our travel insurance, or what other options are there for channel managers, I can listen to what you all need and then help you find a solution that's best for your business. And if that's within the Inhabit family, that's great, because as Adam pointed out, we have those connections. So making the introductions will be easy. But if the best solution for you is outside of the Inhabit umbrella, I'm going to find that, and I'm going to work with you to get it taken care of. so that we're looking out for you. So you've got somebody who can help you do some of the research so that you're not faced with making the big choices and narrowing stuff down on your own. And I'm going to be happy to work with you guys on that. Also, we've been doing client reviews as far as what you all think of the software itself, things that can be improved on and things that are being done well. We're going to continue to do those. I'm hoping to be able to do some of those in person starting in the next couple of weeks. I want to actually get out to visit as many of you all as I can. However, travel becomes tricky with a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old. And also I am aware that the season will be starting soon, and you don't need some extra person hanging out in your lobby just to shoot the breeze and see how you guys are doing. So I'll be working with you all to schedule times, then I can come and see you. And hopefully this is just going to continue throughout the year. Again, as seasons come and go, I know clients that are located in a different part of the United States have seasons at different times, but I do want a chance to get out and see as many of you guys as I can. And I'm going to be bringing some donuts or some kind of treats with you, just so you guys know that I'm sincere as far as, hey, here you go. This is something for you. We appreciate you. I want you to know that you're appreciated. So that's something else that you can see from me. I know Jonathan has been working with you guys to give you updates as releases come out, if they include features that you've requested. And he mentioned that to me today and asked me if I could help him with that going forward. So I'll be working with Jonathan to improve the communication there and enhance it as far as letting you guys know when we have added something to the system that you've asked about. And I'm excited about that. We'll be continuing to work with Tracy as she's doing her marketing. She's going to continue to do the monthly newsletter. So that's going to be the same. So it's not like I'm replacing the communication that you guys are already receiving from VRM. I'm just an added level to that group. Let's see, what else can you all expect? For those of you all that I can't get out and visit right away, I'll be calling you just to say hello and to check in on things. And that about wraps it up right now as far as what my plans are. Adam, Tracy, anything else our clients should expect from me at this point?
No, I think that's a great start, but I think that it's an evolving role. I think we want to see how this goes. We want to see what the feedback is from the clients. We want to see where the needs are. Ultimately, we want to listen to the client base to help us understand what's needed from this role. But I think that the expectations you set are a great start.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for supporting those.
I mean, everything that Lauren said, and I just want to follow that with saying that while Lauren is our dedicated client success manager, she is not operating in a bubble on her own. She has support from the rest of the management team who are all very excited about this role. So from onboarding and sales to training and support to development, QA, and marketing, there you will see now just an even increased level of synergy there as we recognize and then develop plans around what your needs are and making sure that that's communicated. So and you telling us, like, is that enough communication, not too much communication, and making sure that we're hitting the high notes for you. And we've got some other ideas that are percolating. They're on the stove percolating at the moment of what else we can do to really enhance not only communications and idea sharing and brainstorming. So I think that that's something you guys can really start to look forward to probably as we get through most of our clients' busy season and head into the fall. I expect there to be a few more things added to the table as well.
Awesome.
All right. All right. So anything else to add, Lauren?
I don't know of anything right now, unless any questions have come up. Have any questions come in, Tracy, or do you have any from earlier besides the 3 that you had already mentioned?
Nope, no other questions have popped up. But I you know, and I do have one that you and Adam both can address, and just in case I'm thinking it, so maybe some of our clients are thinking it. Is a VRM going to be at the VRM international show? I mean, spring conference in Chicago next week?
Oh, that's a really good question. While there will not be a physical member of the VRM team there. We will be there in spirit, as other family members within the IQ family itself will be there to see clients, to greet people, to share about our software with others. So we will be represented, but we're all going to be back at our home offices working on things for you all going forward for this season.
Yeah, and I'll touch on that real quick. I think that conferences, there needs to be a thoughtful strategy around conferences when you're working with so many different brands within one company. And we just want to be thoughtful about how we approach that. So what I will say is that at every show, at every event, at every conference, every brand that is within Inhabit will continue to be represented, whether that's collateral or, you know, people there who can answer questions or point you in the right direction. If Inhabit is there, VRM is there. That's the way I would say it. Every brand is represented. So we will 100% be at Spring Forum with a strong team of Inhabit personnel. We will have individual brands there as well. And VRM will be represented, as I mentioned, both with collateral as well as some people there with VRM shirts, and just, you know, happy to continue to not only work with the current client base, but also to help the entire industry, the entire market recognize that VRM is here to stay, and Inhabit is investing strongly in them.
Awesome.
I love it. I love that wherever Inhabit IQ is, then VRM is there. I love that. That makes my heart really happy. That's great. All right. So what's next?
Dun, dun, dun.
Good question. Oh, there it is. All right. So another plug for that May webinar. So this is really just a little bit of a tease to tell you that something exciting is coming. So again, in May, and we'll start sending out some information about this May webinar pretty soon, but we're going to try to squeeze in a few different things in that webinar. Again, Kimberly Lang, the Managing Director of Vacations, will be there. We're going to try to have some VRM clients on to have some question and answer similar to this, to help everybody understand what the direction is and feel comfortable and confident in that direction that Inhabit has for VRM. And then in addition to that, we're also going to introduce 2 new tools that we are exposing to the VRM client base. One of them is RevMax. The other one is LSI. Now, LSI already has some exposure into your organization, into VRM and the client base, but we are adding additional tools. Now, what I will say is that this is one of those opportunities. And the reason I wanted to bring this one up today is one, it's coming pretty quick and we're going to cover it in May. But 2, it's a way to provide a tangible example of all of the points that Lauren, Tracy, and I have made throughout this call. Inhabit is investing quickly into VRM, and RevMax, as well as some tools that LSI is developing or has developed, we are releasing these first to VRM. So RevMax is a revenue management tool that was built specifically for Streamline. We've broken out that revenue management tool into its own module that can now be sold and used within other PMS systems, potentially outside of Inhabit. But to start, we're going to start with Inhabit. So again, if you think about the value that Inhabit is bringing, it's bringing faster exposure to new tools that other markets, other companies, other systems don't necessarily have access to. Maybe the long term they will, but you as a member of that Inhabit family will have access and exposure to these things prior to other people. And then the integrations within Inhabit across all of the different teams, whether it's communication or actual API integrations, those are the places where we're going to put our initial focus as well. So RevMax is a fantastic revenue management tool that is getting exceptional, I think even 100% client satisfaction up to this point from all the Streamline clients that are using it. No one outside of Streamline has had access to RevMax up to this point. We are working closely, and huge kudos to Jonathan for moving so quickly on this, but we are working very closely with the VRM team to expose RevMax to the VRM client base before we expose it to anyone else in the industry. So this is a great example of where the value, where the synergies come from when you start to bring all of these great brands together into one place. So we'll release RevMax to the VRM client base. We're going to expose some of those LSI tools associated with RevMax. There's some data that is built in around LSI that will help drive some of the RevMax decisions. We are going to, as of today, I'm being told, and hopefully this is a pretty solid one, it should not move much if it does, I'm being told that RevMax will be live May 15th for the VRM client base. So it's going to give you a great opportunity as you get towards summer months to make sure that your rates are where they need to be heading into summer. And if you haven't touched your rates in a while, this is a big opportunity. As Lauren mentioned, as Tracy was mentioning, this is a strong season. Let's make sure that your rates are where they need to be in comparison to the market. RevMax will help you do that. So leading up to the May webinar and the May 15th live date, my team will be reaching out to the VRM client base, reaching out to you guys individually. We'll send along some marketing and collateral as well, but we'll be introducing RevMax and the LSI data tools associated with it to that VRM client base. So again, you will be the first people in this industry outside of Streamline that have access to these tools. So big opportunity for us to help you see the value in these tools, and hopefully a big opportunity for you to start to leverage these tools before other people in the industry have that opportunity.
Awesome. So we will definitely have that information out to you about the May VRM Insider with RevMax and LSI tools very soon. We're going to get to moving on that a little bit quicker than even traditionally. We want to give you plenty of time to clear your calendar so you can be available for that in May. And we know you're going to be getting really busy. May is going to, it's going to be here so fast, and we want you to block out that time with us. So please keep your eyes out for that information coming soon. And before we wrap up today, I just want to say personally, thank you so much, Adam, for being here with us today. It is always wonderful when we have someone from Inhabit IQ to stand as a representative in front of our clients and give additional information and start to bridge that gap, which, you know, we did. There was a gap there for a while. So it's even nice to just acknowledge that. And so now we're doing something about it. And that's very encouraging to me. And so I know it's encouraging to our clients as well. And Lauren, thank you so much. Oh, go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
Tracy. Yeah, I was just going to say I'm very happy to be here, and I appreciate you guys offering this opportunity. I know Kimberly will be excited to be here in May, but I do agree with that. I think that there was a gap, and I'm happy to be transparent about that. We want to fill that gap. We want to make sure that everyone has the confidence in these tools. And given my time in this industry, this has been my focus. I'm a big believer in this industry. We're all headed in the right direction. And I'm a big believer in the vision that Inhabit has, the value that we're going to be able to bring to this industry by collectively bringing all of these tools together and then improving the services and products and offering them to this collective client base sooner and faster and better than we can to the overall industry. So excited to be here and excited for what we can all do together.
Awesome. All right. And Lauren, just thank you so much. We are delighted, over the moon. I hope our clients are as well, that they spoke, we listened, and you were the answer to that request. And so Lauren is like, ooh, I got some big shoes to fill, but Lauren was already bringing it all the time and going above and beyond. We always hear wonderful things from our clients of how much they love Lauren. So you get her. Yay, you get Lauren. So we are delighted, Lauren. So thank you so much for stepping into this position.
Oh, thank you, Tracy, for all those kind words. And thank you for everybody who has said this stuff to Tracy that you guys want me. So like she says, you've got me. So I hope it works out. And I feel very, very certain that it will. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with those at VRM, those at Inhabit. I've enjoyed working with Adam while we got this together. And I know that Inhabit has got some great things planned for all of us coming up. And I'm just super thrilled to be in this role and be able to play this part of it. So I will be in touch with you guys. So look out for emails and telephone calls, and eventually my Blue Book Terror will be pulling up to see some of you guys with donuts.
I'm gonna stick a thumb out as she rolls past my little town, heading to the coast and trying to hitch a ride every once in a while. So maybe I'll pop in as well, because I'd love to see some of you face to face. Also, who knows, we'll skirt up the Outer Banks sometime, and we'll get to meet Adam in person as well. I mean, so
sure,
we're really excited. So thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy Thursday to join us, or if you're watching this on replay, we appreciate you. You are highly valued as a VRM client, and we just can't thank you enough for trusting us with your business. And we know how valuable that is to you and how important your guests are to you, and that you let us be a part of that experience. So until next time, and from everybody at VRM, we just say have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.